Yo, what is up? How we doing? Big NBA slate tonight. A lot of high scoring close games. That's the two over boys' dreams. So we'll take a look at that. We'll quick recap last night, man. I already don't want to do this recap because man, it was just one of those like unlucky, right? I mean, there's times where it's like you just lost and I can man up and say that. But how about Dylan Brooks, man? In an insane blowout, nobody would have predicted. Super close spread, on pace for to smash the line, and actually was at the hook in 21 minutes, right?
Yep.
Just it's one of those like you just put your hands up and you're like, I guess I got National Blowout Association tonight.
Yeah.
Lauri Markkanen, we're just not betting rebounds ever again. I've decided to ban us from betting rebounds. I just hate it, man. It's fine. And then Zion came through to save the over 3. I was getting ready to like defend that it should have been a 1 for 3 if he were to like barely miss, but came through. Love you, Zion. Appreciate it. So 1 for 3, man, but really should have been a 2 for 3 at least, and should have been a 3 for 3 if we decided to not bet rebounds. So we can could move on. We're past it. We've grown. I think we've matured, and we've got some fun games to look at. Starting with I'm going to start with this Hawks Charlotte game. This one is I mean, that's like I get the blow up for like the throw up for like the teams, but how about for a 240.5 total and a 3-point spread? It's kind of juicy.
Saucy, yeah.
I'm gonna be real. So we'll pull this up here. Injury wise, obviously key ones for Atlanta. Collins has been out. Capella is going to be out for a little bit, and then DeJounte Murray as well. Probably got another week or so before he's back. So we can get into the actual lines. Gordon Hayward out as well. I believe, right? Let me double check. Because I know he was questionable.
Oh, he's game time decision right now, but I think he's probably out. Let me check here too.
Yeah, let me know if you see anything.
He's been on my IL for a week, so.
Right. I know that's kind of the way that I do these. Like, obviously we pulled these lineup reports, but I'm just like, man, in my league, I haven't been able to play that guy in a long time. He just kind of like.
Okay, well, actually, they're assuming he is going to play.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, that actually will impact things a little bit. I think that might be the first game that like LaMelo, like the key Charlotte guys are all healthy, right? LaMelo, Hayward, and Terry. I know Terry's played most of the season, but LaMelo and Hayward both have missed significant stretches. I don't think either of them have played with each other. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at this one. So I've got the points pulled up. It is a juicy game. I will be honest. Hayward back. I don't want to say it like throws a wrench in like plays I would have liked on the Charlotte side, but I mean that's a decent usage guy. I know maybe the minutes aren't going to be massive, but I will say from a matchup perspective, no Murray is also pretty nice, right, for Atlanta guards. So you got Terry up here at 20.5, and I believe LaMelo as well. Yeah, I do like LaMelo at 20.5. They've both been on a pretty decent scoring tear. Do you have a preference? I know we just saw the Pistons game, but I'm not going to say the Hawks are much better defensively with no DeJounte Murray.
Yeah, I like LaMelo a lot in this one. More than Terry, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I think specifically points is tough, right? Because Terry, when you just like think about both of their games, right? LaMelo can get you these like 20 and 11 nights.
I think I do like Terry more, actually.
I don't think it's really close because I mean I like them both to hit.
Oh, just because LaMelo's like back. I mean,
I might be a LaMelo back plus expecting Hayward to play. That's the only thing I can really like fathom on that. Because obviously LaMelo smashed. Obviously it was the Pistons, but like I said, I mean it's the Hawks.
Yeah, I mean, even with Hayward, Rozier hits this line pretty commonly.
Yeah. I mean, LaMelo only had 23 in that Pistons game. Obviously fouled out at the end, didn't get to play OT, so Terry's game looks a little bit better. But I will say the thing with LaMelo and the thing we kind of touched on, he's only averaging 20 this season, but a lot of those like first couple games back, if you guys remember, was pretty inefficient shooting, right? And that's kind of something we expect from some of these guys that are like first coming back from an injury playing in the first games. So I will say I do like LaMelo, and I think the books kind of show that, right? At this 20.5 line, it's like -120, 130. But pretty similar to Terry. I mean, Terry's got what? Um, yeah, this
Minus
underdog line
one
here.
five
It's kind of a
sometimes. Yeah.
pick 'em, but I think the slight lean is the over on most books. So I do like Terry.
I
Any of
can
the
live
Hawks
with that.
guys jumping out to you, or did you want to touch on any of the?
It's a good spot for Trey, but he's just been such a bad shooter lately that it's
Yeah,
hard to rely on him.
I believe
Um,
his assist lines up to like 11 flat or something like that.
Okongwu is interesting. He should be getting a good amount of minutes, and he's in a good matchup spot as well. 12 and a half is a little rich, though, but I think that's just them agreeing with a favorable matchup, more minutes, and a high-scoring game. So
Yep.
that makes sense. I wish it was like, if it was like 10 and a half, which I think it probably should be, then I would slam it. But
But that's
12
kind
and a
of
half is,
that's a funny thought, but
yeah,
I kind of agree with you honestly. And like Plumlee, whatever, like it's not you're not terrified of any kind of like Charlotte bigs defensively or
I think just
anything.
getting, yeah, books are getting a little greedy at 12 and a half to me, but whatever.
Right, but it's so
Um,
tough because like I agree that line feels a little bit high, but I like a Kangwoo
I
tonight,
know,
right?
I know.
So
He's being
it's like
salty.
yeah.
His rebounds is 10 and a half, minus 150 on the books. Good value. Even money on FanDuel. 10 and a half rebounds for Okongwu.
Um,
He
I'm
might
gonna
be the
pretend like
hero.
I didn't hear you just shout out a rebound line on the stream. It
I'll
is
put
a
it
good
down.
pace spot. It is a good pace spot.
I'll
It
put
is
it.
no
I'll put it down.
Capella. You that's a play you play yourself, but you don't put that out in the world. Don't put that on somebody else to put in their lineup. I'll just say this. We'll do a quick rebound spiel, okay? Because I know whatever. People call us weird sometimes for not talking rebounds a lot. I get that plays and player props in general have a random sense to them, right? If a guy shoots poorly, it's one of those toss your hands up in the air. Rebounds, on the other hand, for me, they feel I feel like I get burned way more often on rebounds where I couldn't point to something specific other than, yeah, he just literally didn't grab any rebounds.
Yeah.
And so I think, I don't know if it's like a copium thing, but I feel like in other props, like when I get burned, I know why I got burned, right?
Yep.
Or I lost or something. And I think too, it's just easier for me to predict, right? When we're looking at these props, in player props in general, the less randomness, like the more randomness you can eliminate, the better off you're going to be, right? Because the
Yep.
NBA has so many factors that can screw you over, right? Foul trouble. You played it under and the game went to OT. It was a blowout, so guys got taken out early. Hashtag Dylan Brooks and every other Memphis Grizzly in that game. So I think like player props in general, when you could eliminate randomness, and I think that's where my head is at, is like, well, rebounds can be one of the most random. Just in general, right? So you get these good value lines and you're like, man, even with a little randomness, like it's such a good line. And then you just
Yeah.
get but I'm gonna get off my soapbox and we can move on here. We're in good spirits. All right, this isn't a sad stream. But no, I like a Kangwoo. Any interest in a DeAndre Hunter?
No.
I was actually
Uh,
peeking an AJ Griffin 3-point line. They're giving him some respect though. I will say we can peek
yeah,
ahead at
definitely.
that. Those were the Hawks guys I was like kind of interested in. It's like, all right, maybe not a Griffin points. Like I'm not like super excited about that, but like can I like get like a sneaky 3-point line? Um, but yeah, 1.5. I guess it makes sense. I wouldn't give him a 1 flat, but I was hopeful. But we can take a peek at assists.
Yeah. LaMelo's at 7 flat, which isn't terrible. Trey Young, I think, is at 11 flat. Just a little. I mean, it's fair. He's been on fire assist wise.
Yeah. And
Um,
I like this game. So, I mean, seeing like LaMelo at this like okay, fair 7 flat line, like I actually don't hate it.
yeah.
It is nice. Like I know people might look at like he played 34 minutes in that Pistons game and fouled out. Like I have not that anyone had minutes fears, but I think like when somebody misses a stretch like that and then comes back and plays big minutes immediately, you're like, awesome, cool, no
Yep.
worries. It's really hard, especially when it's not a back to back, right? That game was
Yeah.
2 nights ago. So
Yeah.
I kind of do like LaMelo assists. Any of these assists interesting to you?
Not really. I do really like both the points for Rozier and Ball, and I like Okongwu in this
Mm-hmm.
one. I think those are my three favorite, and I think like I actually like him a lot for like it being only one game. There's a lot of stuff I like in that, and I don't want to like
Yeah.
do too much with the
No, no, no.
assist
I'm
part.
cool. I'm cool to keep it rolling because there's I think
I'm already
we'll
in the
have some things we
predictions.
want to shout
I
out in
think.
this next game. Shout out to Detroit Pistons.
Killian.
Killian Hayes. Yeah. So injury wise, I think Herder is a game time decision. I think he missed. I think he missed last game. I don't know if you want to check to see where he's at, but man, Pistons games, another beautiful total, 237.5, and a 6 point spread. I mean, the Pistons have been keeping a lot of decent teams close this season, even missing key guys. Killian's playing really well. Bogey obviously does his thing, and even guys like Stu and Jalen Duran have like done pretty solid. So I think I think this might be a game where people look at the 6 point spread and get really scared. I actually think this could be a high scoring, close-ish game, especially for the Pistons at home.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
like the guards and the guard play in this one too.
I will say, and I really like Sabonis in this one.
Okay.
What do
Okay.
you don't like Sabonis? I feel like you're usually a Sabonis guy.
Yeah, I wasn't big on him in this one, to be honest with you.
Really? You just like
Yeah,
the way
more.
the Detroit Bigs have been playing?
I just, yeah, I feel like out of any of the matchups, Sabonis is the one that doesn't scare me too much because he's not menacing athletically. He's not like
Yeah.
big, and so like I think we match up better against Sabonis than a lot of other bigs. I mean, I think he's still gonna put up, close to 20 points, but I don't feel as good about it as far as points goes.
Yeah.
Feel a lot better about like guys like Ivy, honestly. Ivy and Killian in this one, both their points lines are so low for a high total, and the guard defense for the Sacramento has been pretty poor, specifically
Yeah.
at the two spot. And with no Kevin Herter, who actually is one of their better defenders at the two spot, I like Ivy here. I like Ivy's play style matching up against the Kings, who like to run fast, like
Hmm.
when they have, which we'll probably see a good amount of Fox and Monk out there together, who are long and fast, and I think that fits really well for both Killian and Ivy.
Yeah.
Um, so
I
I like Ivy's line at 14 and a half. I mean, the books, agree. They have good favor on the over as well.
mhm.
Covered this last time they played, which was also an okayed game. I know he's kind of come down a little bit, but I think he'll play close to, again, I think this could be a closer game. I
Yeah.
think he could play closer to 30 minutes. The minutes thing is a little scary.
Yeah.
Um,
That's my only like thing, but it was nice. I mean, there was moments in that Hornets game, right? Obviously that game went to OT, so his 29 minutes doesn't look as appealing because in some key spots he wasn't in there, but
yeah,
I still think like I mean, even this like stretch, right, that you would call disappointing for Ivy, who's, this past stretch where he's played like anywhere from 22 to 26, 28 minutes over this past like 6, 7 games since he's been back. I mean, he hasn't scored less than 10 points, right? And I think this is one of those games that looks really good for a guy like him, for sure.
yeah. The minutes thing is a little scary. That's what's making me not be like, I love this. Let's play it.
Yeah.
On the other side, Killian though. I mean, he has been playing a lot more minutes.
Yeah.
Played a lot in that last game. Obviously,
Killian
like you
was the
said, oh,
best
but
piston on the court my last game,
yeah,
man. He was amazing.
yep. I like that to continue. I kind of like his PRA a
I know. I
little
will
bit.
say it's kind of interesting. Like the points specifically. I feel like first glance I looked at this and I was like, man, Killian really like a 3 point discount from Jaden Ivey. Like I know Ivy's been more
And down on the
consistent.
under too.
Um, yeah. So I was peeking at some Killian like PRA,
Yep.
assist line specifically, just because I do like this game. He had a pretty efficient assist game last game,
Yeah.
but I still think overall him as a player, like he'll have these games where he shoots a ton, but I don't think that's my like expectation that he's gonna like come out and shoot 19 times, right? Shot 11 threes last game. Like that's I think he can have those games, but I don't think that's like an expectation, right?
100%. Yeah, but the thing that's confusing to me is like who, if we don't think Ivy's going to play a ton of minutes and his scoring contributions are capped,
Yeah.
Killian, the books think that he's not going to score a lot. It's like, okay, like we really think like Bogey's going to be the guy that's going to shoot a crap ton this game. It's like, yeah, I'll probably shoot a lot, but I think matchup wise, um, Bogey might run into more trouble than anybody else,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, and it's
Um,
it's tough too because I will say the Pistons are one of those teams where like even without Cade, like the scoring is can be pretty spread, right? We've seen Knox have good bursts. Obviously, Burks has played amazing,
Yeah.
and sneakily been like a really consistent scorer. But I think there's a lot of points to be had in this game,
Yeah.
so I'm not like
Same.
terrified of that.
Same.
Burks, I would any part of you like a Burks at like 11 and a half, 12 and a half, if that was underdog play?
Yeah, I looked at that initially, and it wasn't underdog, but
Yeah.
I do like that line.
Yeah, I mean, he's just like I know it like feels weird because he's been off the bench and he's played like consistently fewer minutes, but dude, he just looks so good when he plays, man. He's just a bucket.
Yeah.
All right, Bogey's up at 21 and a half. You were saying that matchup wise, it just wasn't your favorite spot, so him having the highest line is not super appealing.
Yeah, a little bit. And like you said, it is more spread out. I like the guards in this one a little bit. He had 21 last time we played the Kings. Um, but he was like really efficient. Like he shot the ball 12 times last time we played the Kings, and that was like no Cade.
Yeah.
And he shot 12 times. He had 21, but it's like super efficient, not a ton of usage and no Cade. It's like where is this, who's gonna be the one that's gonna go get us buckets? Like Duren's not going to shoot, 15 times. Stu's not going to shoot 15 times. It's going to be like Bogey, Ivy, or Killian, and then a lot of bench production from like Burks if Bay comes off the bench again, etc. So I do think it'll be spread out. So it's like for me, if it's spread out, I feel less confident in the 21 and a half line guy.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Uh,
And then I'll touch on Sabonis real quick. I think obviously last time they played, he did not hit this line. 15 points, 4 or 5 shooting, pretty efficient. Got to the line a ton. I think he had 8 free throws, 6 for 8 from the line. I really like this game overall, and I agree with Kenyon. I think like defensively, Sabonis is interesting because we talk about the Pistons defenders, and I think especially at the 5 spot. Kind of that like big 4-5 that Sabonis will see. We've had guys who have been playing better, but still overall, I think we're a bad defensive team that has players that will make good defensive plays. I say that like all
yeah,
the time.
yeah,
So I think like it's too scary to like play an under if you don't like one of these, or you're like looking at last game and you're like Sabonis 19 and a half, like take the under. He didn't hit this last time. But yeah, we
yeah.
can.
It's supposed to be. It should be a high scoring game. I just think we like out of all the teams, like the Kings are pretty undersized at the 4 and 5, especially at the 4.
Yeah.
So it's like we actually can match up pretty well if we run Stu at the 4 and Durant at the 5.
Mm-hmm.
But
All right. I'm picking at assist here.
yeah,
Killian's got the 6.5 line again.
I still feel decent about like a PRA for him.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yeah, he's definitely. I will say that I definitely had like a kind of like self-reflection, introspective moment on Killian Hayes. Right. Obviously, we're Pistons fans. Like we've been waiting for a stretch like he's had this season for a little bit. He's definitely had some inconsistencies, right, in some of these blowout games or games where he just doesn't shoot a lot and shoots pretty poorly when he does. But I think this is one of those games where I feel good about. And it is nice to have him be coming off a hot game, coming into a good matchup game,
Yeah. Right.
All right, I know we talked about the Pistons a lot, so you want to move on? I know we talked about Killian PRA. We liked Ivy points.
Yep. You can move on.
Cool. All right, next up here we've got Orlando, Boston. Let me do this.
Yikes.
Quick. Yeah, this is a scary one. Robert Williams, I think there was a report he's expected to make his debut. 12.5 spread for Boston, who's just this game is, I mean, obviously 12.5 point spread, but it is a severe blowout watch for me.
Yeah.
I'm really scared of this one. Just the way Boston's playing right now. I like Orlando's one of those teams that like randomly can have games where they keep it close with good teams.
Right.
But Boston feels like a whole nother level. Plus you get a guy like Robert Williams back, who's actually pretty massive if he's able to play decent minutes in this game, right?
Yeah.
Because the one thing Orlando does kind of have is size, but Robert Williams helps a lot with that.
Yeah, I think this one's a blowout. I think Boston covers the -12. I don't think many players play over 30 minutes, so this one really scares me.
Right, because it's
So
it's
and
one of
then
those things where like all the points are on Boston's side too. You
yeah,
take that 226 total, and it's a 12.5 point spread. But even with all those points, with that big of a spread, it's the NBA, right? Like think about this
yeah,
Memphis Bucks game. I don't want to use these massive blowout games as examples, but that game should not have been that big of a blowout, just in terms of like those two teams and the spread, right? And Vegas is telling you, hey, this game is almost certainly going to be a blowout at some point, right? If they're expecting
yeah,
Boston to like safely cover 12, 13 points, easily that could turn into 20 points in the NBA game, right?
yep, yep. I kind of like it makes me almost want to go towards like an under for Franz at 18 and a half.
I know. I hear you and I agree, and obviously the book value's there. I just wish he hasn't been so. He's been so hot, man.
Yeah, same with
That's what I
Paolo too.
hate.
They've both been pretty hot, and I want to go under on both of them. But
Yeah, I totally
uh,
agree with you from like a like mindset perspective on this game.
yeah, I'm
I just
just
wish France had more disappointing games.
ooh, ooh,
The
or Markel
Franz.
Fultz.
Hmm.
He's at 13 and a half. Like, yeah, he had a good game against Atlanta, but Atlanta stinks on defense. And now you got, whether it's Brogdon, Smart, or White, you got that. Those are all three better defensive matchups than he saw against Atlanta.
Yeah, and that I
And we
mean
got
you.
blow potential.
Yeah, you look at the like he's been playing pretty good minutes for them, right? Just with some of these injuries, and when he's come back, he's been like a 25 to 30 minute guy. But you look at some of these games, right? You pointed out the Hawks game. I mean, awful 16, right? Doesn't cover against the Raptors. The game he covered against the Raptors and had 15, he shot 3 for 3 from three, which is like you just
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
He misses one of those three, and he doesn't cover this line,
yeah.
and that's still very efficient shooting. So I think this spot. It's tough because it's a guy who's going to play decent minutes. But I think matchup wise too, smart plays.
Yeah, I don't, yeah, I kind of like the under on 13 and a half for him.
Yeah,
I like that's like the only play I like. I was gonna fade this
right.
game, but like that's kind of a crazy highline for me for Fultz. So
Yeah,
just because he's so inconsistent already, and then
yeah,
you add the fact that it's gonna be a blowout on top of it, and the matchup, that's my favorite play from that game.
yeah. All right, like that, like that. All right, we can keep it rolling here. What's up, Josh Allen, baby? Pacers, Cavs. 223 total, 8 point spread for the Cavs.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, this is an
injury
interesting one.
wise, nothing too massive. I mean, a lot of guys we just expect and not super high impact. So
Yep.
keep it
Yeah,
rolling.
this is an interesting one to me. This matchup is interesting. I kind of like Miles Turner. He's at 14 and a half is very low to me. I like his ability to
Yeah,
stretch the floor against, the two bigs in Cleveland, like Mobley, and get Allen out of the paint, stretch the floor with him and make him run with him. Um, yeah, so 14 and a half is pretty low to me. I mean, in this last couple weeks, he's hit this line every single time except for one game. Um, yeah,
yeah.
I like that line for him. No
Uh,
Jalen's. I don't. Jalen Smith's been coming off the bench. I mean, so like that kind of. There's not a lot of contention there, if you will, on their play styles.
yeah,
I'm gonna write that down. I actually really like that one.
yeah.
Um,
I like that. Good value too.
Nemhard falling off a little bit on his usage. I think, like again, no, he's
Yeah,
just gonna play a lot of time.
it's just
So,
like that kind of player, right? It's hard to pin down.
yep, yeah.
Donovan
Anything
Mitchell here.
else?
I mean, a high line, right? We got this 27 and a half. He's been hot. Good value on the over.
Yeah,
Um,
it's true. 27 and a half is not bad for him. Tyrese, 18 and a half. Just haven't seen the aggressiveness and the amount of scoring that I'd like to really feel good about that one.
yeah, it's been
Um,
a little up and down. Some efficient games where he's been hitting.
yeah, his assists are at 9 flat. Just terrible. What do you think about that?
9 flat.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
terrible.
it's just a little. I mean, it's tough because like I was looking at this game earlier actually, and I will say that you want to read deeper than just looking at specific stats. I think that's something you can fall in a trap of. So I talk about potential assists a lot, right? But those aren't the full story. Not even potential assists are the full story, right? Because if you look at on the season, he's like a 20 potential assist guy, and over this most recent stretch, he's been like a 14. And I will say specifically like these like lower assist games he's had, he's still making the same number of passes, right? So it's like, a lot of that is just, unlucky or pass to assists, secondary assists kind of deal, which don't get counted as, potential assists, obviously. So, with all that being said, though, I don't know how safe, quote unquote, I feel about 9 flat, because I'm not like in love with this game,
Yeah.
Big spread, decently big spread for the Cavs, and not like a super high scoring game.
Yeah.
I do love Hallie though.
Look at nothing good for threes that I'm liking. As far as like Mobley goes, what's his points line at? Come on. Come on.
The Mobster.
15.5, kind of a pick'em. Yeah, I don't love that. I like his matchup though. I mean, if they're running Aaron Neesmith at the 4, that's a good matchup. But Jalen Smith will probably come in.
Yeah, I was expecting. I would expect guys like Smith to play more minutes alongside Mobley Allen, just from a size perspective. Like I just feel like that's not a good idea to not do that. But I'm cool. I'm cool to move on with this one if you're good.
Yeah, let's go to Sixers Warriors.
Yes, sir. So big injury. Dang.
Oh, they don't have his line.
I was about to do like a sad talking about stepping out. You just go DiVincenzo.
Actually, screw DiVincenzo. He beat Michigan in the 2018 National Championship.
Dude, it's so funny to like. Obviously he's a solid player for sure, but like when you think about players in college versus like in the NBA, like he was a bucket in college, dude.
Some schools actually prep their players to be really good in the NBA, like Poole, and then you have teams that. Yeah. It's just, you got Poole versus DiVincenzo.
All right, all I'm saying is Curry's out, and you didn't go Jordan Poole. You went DiVincenzo. I mean, so he obviously we're prepping all this. Curry with the shoulder injury is expected to miss. I believe it's a week or two. I think it's reevaluated in like 2-ish weeks, 2 to 3.
Yeah, so, I think it's going to be closer to a month.
Yeah, I mean, a guy like Curry too, and it's a reevaluation versus like. He's going to be back by this date. That's always the longer term. But obviously, we're just talking about this game. 9-point spread for the Sixers with that pretty key injury. Still no Maxey, but I mean, you've got Embiid, you got Harden, still got Toby. 220.5. No Wiggins, no Dre, and Clay is a game time decision. I think it's kind of been like up and down. But I think the last report I saw was positive. I don't know if you want to double check on that.
For Clay.
Yeah, for Clay. Obviously, Clay and Wiggins have been out. And Wiggins is still going to be out, but I think I saw a report that Clay is looking like he might play.
I really wish we had DiVincenzo lines.
Yeah.
Draymond Green's out.
Oh yeah, and we don't have. Okay, so this is definitely a Clay impact.
He still says questionable as of 2 hours ago. That was 2 hours ago though. Let me see if I can get that.
Yeah, no Pool lines or anything. That kind of sucks. I would like those are the most interesting to me in this game. Are the like lines with no Curry?
5 minutes ago, still questionable.
Okay.
Gordon Hayward was moved to probable.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, you got
really excited about the DiVincenzo lines, but
I mean, how scared are you? I know we talked about that Orlando Boston game. How scared are you? No Curry, no Draymond against the Sixers 9-point spread. Is that equally scary blowout territory for you?
A little bit. I actually really like this Warriors lineup if Clay's in too. Like they have a lot of offensive firepower with DiVincenzo, Poole, Thompson, and Kuminga. Like there's not a lack of scoring here. Defensively,
I mean, it's right. No, you're losing arguably your 3 best defenders in this game, right?
Yeah, it's going to be father and son with Looney and Embiid. So
right, and that's not even mentioning no Wiggins, right, defensively too. And then Curry, who's like an underrated defender for sure.
Yeah, it's not.
It's
This
very
is not
scary because I
scary.
mean, DiVincenzo. Okay, I'm pretty scared of this one because I'm very down on what this Warriors lineup looks like defensively. I think you said it right that the excitement is sneaky good offensive potential because I actually do like a lot of these guys offensively, but it's very very scary. I mean, Poole, he's been a liability for a minute, and you lose Wiggins and Green in this kind of
Hey,
game.
chill. Yeah, I really want to see his Warriors lines, but we're not seeing them. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
and this we can talk about some of these Sixers lines, but they're all very high, right? You got him beat at like 32 and a half. Harden at
yeah,
his higher points line, even his assist lines at 10 flat. Like all these are pretty sharp
yeah,
in a game that I'm kind of scared of. So I'm cool to move on
yeah.
since we're not
Let's
seeing
get
those
out of here.
Warriors lines. Let's get out of here. All right, next up, Toronto Brooklyn.
This is a
This
good one.
game, another 225 and a half total, 1.5 point spread. This one's a close one. I actually think this one is one of those games that I could see beating the over. Um,
It's a really good game. Both teams are finally healthy
yeah,
for the most part.
finally
OG,
healthy, and like I know Toronto is one of those. Well, obviously OG out, and that's a little
right?
bit of a nod to like me thinking this game could be higher. But I just think in general, I mean Toronto has not been as like similar to Boston in a way almost, where they haven't been as like terrifying of a defensive matchup as they've been previous years. So this Brooklyn team fully healthy, I think can score, and I think same to Toronto versus what Brooklyn's been doing defensively.
Yeah, Brooklyn's playing a lot better since the
Yeah,
Steve Nash left under is it James Vaughn. Doing super well. So I really like this game. Actually, it's gonna be a good game.
yeah, I think it'll be
Van
close
Vliet's been
too.
on fire,
Oh yeah,
but I just can't
Gary's been.
because Van Vliet on fire means like he had a 11-3 game. Finally,
Yeah,
he's gonna turn around and do a 3 for 11 game. So
yeah,
this is
we
kind of
were yeah in general from a points perspective. Like 3 point volume and stuff. Sometimes I'll like if a guy's been hot from that perspective and hyper efficient. If the volume's there, I'll go to it, but I tend to avoid those kind of the hot guys that are whoa, hey yo,
hey
the guys that are hot. Not that it makes it much better.
hey.
I tend to avoid a little bit if they are,
Uh,
if it's a 3 point efficiency thing, right?
Ooh.
I don't hate,
Oh,
I don't hate Siakam at 24 and a half. Good value on the over. I like
yep,
him.
I was thinking that too. I was feeling a little Siakam in my loins. Um,
I don't hate KD at 27 and a half. I know Brooklyn's fully healthy, but any other
yeah,
points, guys, interesting to you? I feel like Siakam's the one that jumps out to me the most.
same. I don't hate KD though.
Yeah. Oh, no, no. Yeah.
Siakam, yeah, 24 and a half. It's good value, like you said. He's just gonna play like 40 minutes. Last time they played, he had 24 against them, 7 for 15. Um, with OG though.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Right. And that
yeah,
was
it's
in
just
like
tough, dude.
that was in 32 minutes, which funny enough feels like the floor for Siakam minutes at
What
32,
about Gary Trent? It says 17 and a half. It's not a crazy high line by any means.
Yeah. I mean, he's had a pretty hot stretch as of late.
Yeah, with no OG, I think that frees up some good opportunity for him as like their kind of wing players, him and OG.
Yeah.
Um, I do kind of like Gary Trent actually.
Yeah. I don't hate that. I'd rather play Trent
I like
than
that.
Fred, honestly, from a
I'm gonna
points
put Trent. I'm
perspective.
gonna put Trent down.
Yeah, I like
Fred
Trent.
again. You like Fred again?
What?
You know Fred again?
Fred again?
Fred again, the musician.
Fred, the old
Oh,
YouTuber?
you'd love Fred again. No,
I'll listen to him.
you gotta look him up. Fred
You know, to
again.
be honest, um,
You thought that was a Ligma joke?
a little bit. All right, assist. We got Siakam 6 flat, Fred 6 flat, Kyrie 5 flat. Ugh, a lot of flat
Yeah, I don't
lines
like
in
a lot
this
of
one.
flat lines.
Ugh.
This is a really good game. I love this game. I'm
Yeah,
hoping it's a close game. I don't really know where to go with it
yeah,
because everybody's healthy on both sides for the first time, except for OG. Like Nets are in full strength. They're playing a lot better.
Yeah.
Toronto's just missing OG. I don't know how this is going to pan out. I do like Trent's line, just with the open um, usage now with no OG, because I think they like their wing play is very important,
Yeah.
especially against a team like
And
this.
like this, yeah, if you just look like matchup wise,
Yeah, I think the wing
Trent's
play is where to exploit.
right. Trent with Harris, right? If you're expecting kind of like Scotty, Siakam in the 5 to be kind of used up, right? And then Fred and Kyrie.
Yeah.
I think Trent's the one kind of like you look to and are like, okay, that's the one you want to expose,
Yep. Definitely.
Cool. No, I like that one. None of these like assists are really. I mean, they're just really ugly, right? A lot of flat lines. We tend to want to avoid flat lines unless we like are in love with the like push. Like we think it's like a lock to push.
Yeah. I I cheated and I went to the next game.
Yeah.
I went straight to Vooch rebounds and I was like, should we just go under?
What's it? Is it at the same line? What is it
Yeah, 9.5.
at? So, dude, I hate that. Same exact game. Absolutely nowhere comes close. Same line. You're just like, dude, that's just rebounds in a nutshell, right? It's so random. No
Run it back.
situation has changed other than the last game went to overtime and it's the same line. So annoying. All right, 2.5
minutes
spread,
and 7
225. I will say the Knicks, man, they could not miss. It felt like in this game.
It's true.
Specifically Barrett, who I want to call out for some of that. Yeah, for sure. No, the reason that I wanted to bring up Barrett though is honestly, like it wasn't like that crazy of a game if you just like peek his box score, but Barrett shooting well from 3 is just like not a phrase that I want to count on. 4 for 7 from 3. It's higher volume than you expect from him, so yeah, I don't love RJ. Not that we needed time for me to devote to that, but I wanted to call that out. Obviously, it's a game we just saw. Any of these interesting to you? Or did you already peek at assists? You're just not in love with these points?
Nothing I'm liking. Maybe DeRozan at 4.5, but it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I don't hate Levine at 4 flat, but once again, it's one of those flat lines. Randall at 4 flat, just with all the offensive usage he's been having recently, isn't terrible.
I do like DeRozan again, points wise.
Yeah. No, I don't hate DeRozan.
I know it went to overtime, but like again, I think I said this last time they played. Like this matchup to me fits DeRozan's play style a lot more. I think the Knicks are slower than the pace that Levine thrives in, and so I mean, I think we saw that with DeRozan having 32 last game, albeit in overtime. He covered in regulation though, but 26.5 again. Obviously, it's quite heavily favored on some books to go back over.
But I will say, from a pace perspective, the pace increases a little bit if Vooch refuses to box out into Robinson and grab a fucking rebound. The ball goes to the guards and they're able to push out the floor a little bit, but I hear you.
Is this in Chicago again? It is.
I think so, yeah.
The Knicks just posted up in the Marriott downtown.
Yeah. Had a little trip down there.
Yeah, I don't love the Knicks side. I just, like you said, they did not miss. And
right, so a lot of these numbers look a little like numbers they had last game looked a little skewed with that plus overtime.
Right.
I think there's just
oof. Is Caruso playing? He is.
Nice. Yeah. What do you think? You got hurt on that cross up? You got crossed.
Well, he was a game time decision last game. I can't remember if the whole game or not. Yeah, I kind of want to go under on Brunson. Call me crazy.
Yeah.
Kind of do. I mean, he just didn't miss.
Right.
And then he didn't miss, and then he went back down to earth, and he like almost like was barely covering until overtime. And then I just
I actually totally get it, because I will say that like this recent stretch, I know we've talked about at the beginning of the season, it's like all these guys, any of these guys can be 20 plus. It really feels like right now the volume is just Randall. It's Randall And then it's
Right.
like Brunson, Barrett have kind of been alternating as far as like volume. The offense just has kind of run through Randall a lot more than it did earlier in the season.
Right. Yeah, I saw Randall with a lot more, and like when Brunson had it, he was just missing like from pull up mid range. I mean, he just is that guy though. Like he is a
Yeah,
very
right.
strong mid range player. So like, fair play to him. But like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I defensively too. I mean, you can watch the Caruso getting crossed up all you want, but man, he is, dude. He was like up against Randall on some possessions and like kind of sticking with him.
yeah,
He is just, he's like the perfect defender for a guy like Brunson.
yeah. I don't think I'm gonna write anything down for this one. Nothing's sticking
Yeah.
out to me.
No, I'm cool with that.
DeRozan over, Brunson under. Probably about it for me. For
Cool.
points.
All right, T-Wolves OKC. This one is close spread. 233.5 total. 2.5 point spread for OKC with some of these injuries.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Right. No Cat still tonight. I know Rudy and D'Lo are game time decisions.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of lines.
Yeah, I'd assume not. Do you want to kind of move forward a little bit since we got some more games to cover?
Yeah, let's just do it.
I do like this one though, but I will say, peeking at the lines earlier, I will say they are very reflected of the expected total. I mean, Shea's got his like, I believe it's like close to like 30 and a half. Yeah.
Yep.
So nothing like you can really take advantage of at this point.
Close to 30 and a half. Yeah, that's close. It's like 30.4.
Well,
they should just do that. Just like, why not? They should just do like 30.3 is the line.
I know, dude. I'd much
rather
rather play over 30.1 than a 30.5.
Yeah.
You know, even though it's
probably because their algorithm on like the the minus is equal. Like if it was 30.1, technically the minus would probably be like a little higher.
Oh,
you know
yeah. No, with the format, I gotcha.
think,
yeah, it's like $12.9. It's like you go to a store and something's $12.99, and you're like, that's not $13.
Yeah. No, I think like the computative like algorithm takes in the factor of the half point to make it even keel on the over and under, if that makes sense. Because if you had a 0.1, I think the algorithm would actually favor
Canyon's on his beautiful mind shit right now.
It's like all right, anyway.
All right, Dallas Blazers.
I like
this
one
one's
a lot.
226 total, 3.5 spread. It's a nice total for a Mavs game. And I think this game could be close. Canyon, as the resident Mavs fan,
yeah,
you think Dallas can keep this one close?
I think
they're favored. I would not expect them to be favored even at home. Would you?
I mean, Portland's just pretty bad defense.
Yeah, that's true.
It does stink that Kleber's out for a minute. I think he's out for like 2 months.
Right.
They just need Christian Wood to step up, get back to what he did early in the season. I do think they win this game, actually.
Yeah,
it's
kind of funny. I said like, can Dallas keep this close? They're favored in this one, so I think this game definitely will most likely be close. I'm not going to say will be.
Yeah, I like this one. I like the matchup for Luka. I don't like Dame or Anthony to give him any troubles.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it shows he's at 32.5, which is very frustrating because I was hoping it was like 30 and I would have taken it, but
yeah,
32.5 really annoying.
Yeah.
Dame at 28.5 though. I still like that. I mean, he's been on a tear.
Yeah.
And
it is a pace down. I mean, Dallas Luka just naturally slows the game down, right? But
yeah,
still,
true.
I think the total is a nice reflection of there's going to be some points in this one, right?
Just look at Dame's last 4 games, dude. 40, 36, 38, 37. He's averaging almost 40 points a game in the last week. Crazy.
He's on one, man. Dame time.
Yeah, he's 17 threes, 11 threes, 17 threes, 14 threes.
Yeah, and it's one thing, like it'd be one thing, like yes, the 3-point efficiency has been really good, but I almost don't even care as much about being hyper efficient. A reflection of like how high he's been scoring when he's going to shoot 14, 17, 11 threes. Like you just shoot 30, 40%, we're going to get close, right? Even though he's shot over 50 in some of these.
Yeah, Dallas doesn't give up a lot of threes, though, to the guard position. Not like that's going to stop Load from pulling, but I do like the 28.5 for Dame. I still really want to go Luka over 32.5. I want to just...
I know, I will say... I mean, it's Luka, right? So he's going to be right around here. I know he only had 30 in this last one. He barely hit that 30 with 2 free throws at the end. Shout out to my over 29.5 that I had for Luka in that game.
Yep.
But really inefficient scoring. I mean, he was 2 for 8 from 3, 9 for 23 from the field. And honestly, it's kind of funny, but like 23 shots in 8 threes has kind of been like the lower mid amount of like Luka volume, right? That we saw in that Cavs game. So
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
Looking at peripherals, you can get Luka at 8.5 assists on Underdog, which is like -166 on FanDuel, -132 on other sites. It's good value. I almost want to go rebounds more, but I know we're banning rebounds. He's still there. Did you?
Yeah. Can you hear it? Can you hear a construction in the background?
No.
Okay. We should be good.
But yeah, I kind of like the assist for him here because I like the Mavs to score in this game.
Yeah.
I like the matchup against the Blazers here.
Yeah.
And so he's at what 8.5 assists. It's really good value.
Yeah, no, I think it's really good value. I do like it.
Last time they played, he had a 40-point triple-double. So,
right. I think that's kind of the only assist line I really want to touch on because you got Dame at like 7 flat. Just give me points if I'm going to play Dame somewhere. Anthony at 4 flat, like looks interesting, but it's just an ugly flat line. So yeah, we can peek at threes. I don't know if Underdog has some of these 3 lines up. It doesn't look like it, so we can move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Fun game. Okay. I told you we got some high scoring, close, fun games. Lakers Nuggets, man, 237.5 total, 1.5 point spread for Denver at home. AD and LeBron James expected to play. No MPJ still. Beautiful total. Yep. Close game. Man.
LeBron.
Well, I like AD too. I like both of those guys, honestly, in this one. I mean, obviously AD's been on a tear. The volume's been pretty crazy. But he's got that 28.5 line. I do like that. I like LeBron at 27.5. I like both of those guys. I rarely like both studs, but I just think
who is guarding LeBron in this game? Who?
I mean, Aaron Gordon.
I love his rebounds too. His rebounds are at 7.5.
I think Aaron Gordon's like a sneaky. He's not an amazing defender.
Oh my lord!
But he's got some strength. He's got some grit. I like, dude. I think I like both of these guys. Do you like AD? Because I really like AD tonight too, and I know you're doing your LeBron chance. I like both of them. I just want to hear you say if you like AD or not.
What's his points at?
28.5. They're almost at the same. 27.5, 28.5. I just really like this game.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts.
It's just like AD for me just feels like, obviously this most recent stretch has been insane. Okay, so like it's easy for me to sit here and just point to what he's done over this past like 6-7 game stretch when he's played. But he just feels like he can just have these crazy volume games, right?
Yeah. Have they played Denver this season? They have. They had a back-to-back against Denver, 80 and 22 and 23. That's before his hot stretch. But
right, yeah.
1979. I don't know. I like LeBron assists.
Yeah, he shot efficiently too. He just didn't shoot as much as he's been shooting.
Brown's PRA is 41.5. I know that's high. Okay, I know. I get it. I understand. LeBron.
Yeah, I do like LeBron in this one.
I'm just trying to figure out where I like him the most.
Yeah.
I kind of want to play.
The Lakers just overall are playing better.
Like 25-7-7 doesn't get there. 27-8-7 gets there.
Yeah, LeBron for perspective. I know we touched on AD a little bit. Their 2 games against the Nuggets, end of October. So obviously, compared to how the Lakers look now, I think you would argue is pretty different. But 19, 7, 9, 26, 6, 8, 35 minutes both games. Not super great shooting. 8 for 21, 10 for 22. 4 for 5 from the free throw line in the second game, 1 for 2 in the first one. So it's kind of tough, right? Because I think we would agree that looking at the games they played earlier in the season, both of these guys are playing differently. Specifically AD, I would argue more, but I think this one should be closer and high scoring versus some of the games we saw earlier for them.
Yeah.
Like, let me pull this up. Yeah, the first game they played, Lakers scored 99 points.
Yeah.
Now, second game, it was 121, 110. But implied total for this one, if you guys are familiar, an implied total for each team total, you're using the total of the game, right? It's 237.5. And then Vegas is telling you how many points both teams are going to probably score, and it's almost 120 each, right? Because you get close to 240. Pick 'em would be 120 each, so we're right on the edge of like 118, 119 for these teams, which is shaoxi. Know what I'm saying? Also, this was an 18-point game for Lonnie Walker and Russell Westbrook in the higher scoring Lakers game.
Yeah. Yeah, I can get behind AD.
Thank you. All I had to do was just pull out all the numbers I had.
I didn't listen to a word you just said.
Finally get you to. You were just looking at his box score. You're like, he's been that dude though. So. Yeah. PRA. I mean, they're neck and neck too, but I think it's kind of tough, right? Because AD has way more rebounding upside, but LeBron can still get you double-digit rebounds while giving you really nice assists, right?
Yeah.
Any of these Nuggets guys, I know we haven't been the biggest Jokic guys, just with the volume he's been seeing, but it's been a little bit better as of late, and he's at 25.5 in this one.
Yeah. On 80 though, I don't know if I feel great about that.
Yeah.
Not bad though.
Yeah, he had 23 in the most recent game where they scored 110, and 31 this season. So he's had pretty good performances with AD, but
yeah,
I get the fears. Like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like AD is like a good matchup because Jokic had a good scoring game.
Yeah. Right.
And I will say, I mean, AD is fully healthy and played in both of those games, so I know that's a question when you're talking about like older games this season. Both of those guys were healthy and played both. I do
I like a little bit of Russell Westbrook in this one too. 14.5 points. What's his assists at? I just love the Russ contributions lately. 6.5 isn't terrible. It's a little steep, but it's a high scoring game.
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't know where to go on this one. I'm torn.
Yeah. For me, and I mean, you can disagree if you want. I know there's a lot of appeal in some of these, like you've got like Schroeder has really good value on his assists, and like Russ is pretty interesting. For me, it's like it's the stars for me versus like Russ or Jamal. Like, I really like the Lakers studs. Like, I like AD and I like LeBron at their lines, and I'm gonna say I like Jokic too. I think it's just a really good line for Jokic in a high scoring game. You know, if the volume's going to be there for him tonight, which it has been a little bit more as of late. And two, I do want to, let me look this up real quick, because I kind of want to like end this while we look at other plays with something real quick. Yeah, not like crazy volume in these two games either. I mean, so 23 and 31 points in these two, right? 16 and 17 shots, 7 free throws, which is kind of like, I feel like that's like low mid volume you expect from Jokic, probably like middle of the pack
Yeah.
for this recent stretch. I guess this season you could argue it's close to what he's been doing, but all right, you want to go through plays we like?
Yep. I got him here.
All right, let's hear him.
Rozier over 20.5 points. LaMelo also over 20.5 points. I did put Okongwu over 10.5 points
Gotcha.
or 12.5 points. Killian over 20.5 PRA. Fultz under 13.5 points. Miles Turner over 14.5 points. Gary Trent over 17.5 points. And then we've got AD over 28.5 points. Jokic over 25.5 points.
You wanna do pick three?
Yeah, I don't know what to do. I want Rozier in there, I think.
All right,
20
cool.
and a half.
Is any part of you? I'm not trying to like talk you out of a play or anything. Is any part of you like it less expecting Gordon Hayward to play?
No. He still shoots like 20-ish or more times a game, even when Hayward's in there or not. I just like the matchup. Like the Hawks and Hornets is such a high pace, high scoring game, and he's got the best matchup by far at the guard spot there with LaMelo, but I think he shoots more than LaMelo more
Yeah,
consistently.
from a scoring perspective, yeah.
Yeah. So I like him to get over 20 and a half.
Okay, I like that.
So we can do that instead of Ball. We'll leave out Kongwu because I know you don't want to do boards. Actually, I'm gonna put all these on here just to keep track of for fun.
Yeah, you could do your 17 pick or how many plays you got. So Terry was what? It was
20 and
20
a
and a
half.
half. Yeah. Okay.
And then we got like Killian over 20 and a half PRA or Ivy over 14 and a half points, whatever one you like out of that, if you want to do that. In that Kings game. I don't know if you're scared of that game or not.
I'm not scared of the game. I'm just scared of the
minutes.
It's so hard because I think like, and I think it's kind of the reason, right, that this line is where it's at. I really like the lines for both of those guys. Part of me wants to lean Killian, funny enough, because I feel safer about his role, right?
Same.
But
I mean,
he's had
12,
inconsistencies
4, and
too.
5. 12, 4, 5 gets there.
Yeah.
You know, like it's kind of crazy.
He's just playing so well. I know he's had these like disappointing games, right, where he shoots poorly, but like
even if he does shoot poorly, and he has like 11 points, it's like 11, 5, and 6.
Yeah,
gets there. That's kind of crazy to me.
I like it. I like it. We'll go back to Phil. Yeah, you like it. You like it more than his traditional assist, right? Just because you think there's good value on.
Yeah, it's just I'll take the
peripherals.
scoring upside. Yeah, the and the rebounds and yeah.
So
20 PRA for him.
So 20 and a half PRA, right?
Yep. Got Fultz under 13 and a half.
Killian could just score 21 points, right?
Right. He just honestly could.
Yeah.
Miles Turner over 14 and a half points. Gary Trent over 17 and a half points. I like still.
Yeah.
And then we got the Lakers guys too. Do you want to do a 5-pick Friday? Why not?
The 5-pick Friday. Yeah, I'm done. Let's do it. All right.
I know you're down, but do you want to?
No. Honestly, do you want to know the hesitancy? It has nothing to do with it being 5 plays. I gotta adjust the creative, the images. Oh no, cool, we got it. All right. So if we're doing 5, I do like Gary Trent. We can do that one.
Sweet.
OG.
Yep, that's 17 and a half. I want you to pick a Laker Nugget one.
Yeah.
Or just even pick the other two. Like, I feel like I've been controlling the picks here.
No, I mean these were all ones that we both liked. And we both like the sets too. Like we're in the same boat with the Lakers. Like I love both LeBron and AD tonight. Yeah. I don't want to play both of them, obviously. How do you feel about do you feel like LeBron has like a really good matchup? Or do you think it's just like bad tur?
Than AD's.
Yeah.
It's it's better.
Right.
Uh,
That's kind of how I feel
it's.
about it.
I mean, it's just like I don't. I think Jokic is a savvy little defender.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody that you can put on LeBron is going to be like sneaky good. Like Aaron Gordon stinks. Bruce Brown
Yeah.
is way undersized. Bruce Brown is sneaky good. He's a little stout. He can play up out of his weight class. But like
I expect more Gordon though, and I know yeah, just
Aaron
from a
Gordon
size perspective,
stinks at defense.
he's just strong, man. We can go Braun. I like Braun and AD. I personally am playing
Go AD
both
then.
both of
Let's
them.
just ride the hot hand. Let's go AD. He's been an absolute unit. In a 237 total, you're telling me the guy who's been putting up 50 like twice already isn't going to do 30 in a 237 total? Ow.
I know we're like picking hairs here. We're probably gonna get to, we're gonna like tonight. We're gonna be like, oh, AD had 32 and LeBron had 30.
No, we're gonna get to tonight, and we're gonna be 0 for 4, wishing that the last one hits with 18. Like, come on, man.
We're gonna be 0 for 4, and Vooch is gonna have 15 rebounds. And we're gonna be like, you mother.
Yeah, right.
All right, so I got Terry points, Kill PRA, Gary Trent points, AD points, and we've got a fifth we could do. Let me open up these games. I know you liked Dame. I did like Dame.
Dame, Miles Turner, Fultz under, Kungwu. We could just do 4 too. Who do you love?
I mean, I'm if one's like I'm down to do 4. If one of those like is really really jumping out to you, I kind of just like I'm kind of at a point where I like the 4 that we called out, and then those other ones like I'm like, yeah, Dame's been hot. I like Dame. Like, yeah, I get the thought process of the Fultz. Like, yeah, I like Turner at that line. Like, that's kind of how I feel about him.
Okay, let's just do 4.
4 pick Friday. It rolls off the tongue the same.
Yeah, still has the alliteration. That's all that matters.
And it just makes it my job a little bit easier, right, with adjusting.
3 pick Thursday, 4 pick Friday, 2 pick Tuesday. Ooh, we're not doing anything Wednesday, and maybe we'll do something Monday.
5 for 5 for Friday. 4 for 4 Friday.
Money Monday.
Yeah, money. Okay, let me do this. All right, I will. I am updating this real quick, so we can take a look. Boom. Terry. Oh, Terry! Over more than 20.5 points. Killian Hayes, 20.5 PRA. More there. I like these like spots for these teams, right? Too, man. Like this is the night of like games, right?
Yeah.
Like I like the totals and the games to be close on all of these. Yep. Which I know we like. That's like a duh when you're playing like four overs, 4 mores, but
it just won't happen. Like something's gonna go wrong.
Okay, yes. But like the setup for the games, right? 230. I'll go game by game. 240.5 total 3-point spread. 237.5 total 6-point spread for Killian that Detroit game. Yeah. Then that Brooklyn game, I called it. I said I think this one even goes over 225.5. It's not even like a super low total. 1.5 point spread. Good spot for Gary. And then AD, obviously we were just looking at this one. What was this, 237? Yeah, 237.5 total, 1.5 point spread. Ugh. Don't let me down, National Blowout Association. Let's go. Let's have a good night tonight. All right, I love these. Let's love them. Some coin. I'm down. All right, appreciate you guys watching, and good luck tonight. We'll see you in the next one.